In this lesson of Sharh Kitab al-Da' wa-Dawa, the Shaykh Abdul Razzaq al-Badr Hifidhahullah explains that after speaking about many inner punishments of sins, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah moves to another type of warning, the legal punishments that Allah and His Messenger set for major sins. The Shaykh reads from Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah that if the previous reminders do not stop a person from sinning, then he should fear the punishments that the Sharia has fixed for crimes. He mentions examples: cutting the hand of the thief, cutting the hand and the opposite foot for the highway robber, flogging the one who falsely accuses a chaste believer of zina, stoning to death the married fornicator, and other known hudud. The Shaykh explains that these hudud are not blind revenge or cruelty. They are strong protection for society and individuals. For the person on whom the hadd is carried out, if he repents, this punishment can be a purification and expiation. For others, it acts as a powerful deterrent, showing how serious the sin is in the sight of Allah. Then the Shaykh explains how Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah shows the wisdom behind the level of each punishment. Allah made the punishment according to the strength of the desire for that sin and the need to stop it. If people's nature is not strongly attracted to a certain filthy act, the simple ruling of haram and some ta'zir are enough. But when the desire is very strong and the corruption of the sin is great, like zina, sodomy, stealing, and cutting roads, the Sharia came with heavier punishments. The Shaykh then gives examples. For zina, which is very tempting, the punishment is flogging and exile for the unmarried person, and stoning for the married one. For sodomy, the corruption is even more severe, and the texts mention killing the doer. For theft, the hand that takes what does not belong to it is cut, to protect people's wealth and close the door to this crime. The Shaykh also mentions that Ibn al-Qayyim asks why the hand is cut for theft, but the tongue is not cut for the sin of false accusation, qadhaf, even though the tongue committed that sin. The answer is that cutting the tongue would bring a greater harm than the harm of the sin itself. The Sharia therefore chose a punishment that makes the whole body feel pain, the flogging, while keeping the tongue so that after tawbah it can be used for dhikr, Qur'an, and truth. Ibn al-Qayyim also asks why, in the case of zina, the punishment is not placed directly on the organ that committed the act, as in the case of the hand for theft. He mentions several points of wisdom. Cutting that organ would be a destruction greater than the sin itself, and it would cut off offspring. The pleasure of zina spreads through the whole body, the eyes, imagination, heart, movement, blood. So, it is wiser that the punishment also reaches the entire body through flogging. The Shaykh stresses that these hudud are not random. They are placed on the most perfect form, most wise, and most fitting for sound minds and real benefit. The Shaykh then presents how Ibn al-Qayyim divides sins in relation to hadd and kafara. A group of sins that have a hadd only, with no kafara, like zina, theft, and qadhaf. A group that has a kafara but no hadd, like intercourse in Ramadan daytime, dhihar, oaths, and some forms of accidental killing. A group that has neither hadd nor fixed kafara and is handled by ta'zir and tawbah, such as forbidden looks, small thefts below the hadd, or touching and kissing without intercourse. The Shaykh notes that one and the same sin does not carry at the same time hadd, kafara, and ta'zir. Either the hadd is enough, or the kafara is enough, or it falls under ta'zir and repentance. At the end, the Shaykh mentions Ibn al-Qayyim's distinction between two types of punishments: shar'i punishments, hudud, ta'zir, and kafarat applied in this world; qadari punishments, what Allah sends as trials, fear, humiliation, or widespread problems in society because of sins. The Shaykh reminds us that when Sharia punishments are properly applied, they can protect society and be a cause for Allah to lift or reduce other types of punishment. But when people take sins lightly and cancel the limits of Allah, they should fear that punishment may come in another form.